Hello, 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 everybody. It's Jen Hart here with the Connected Show. I have recently decided to restructure the name. Instead of calling it Jennifer Hart's Connected, it's now Connected with Jennifer Hart. Not a big deal, but just thought I'd mention it. Welcome back. So there has been some changes to my business and what I am creating in the world. These videos right now are previously recorded, so please comment and say hello. I will be monitoring them, but I will not answer them obviously real time. If you're here, I like to say that because one time someone was like, I was talking and you weren't answering any of my questions. And so they are previously recorded. This will be airing on today, should be Thursday, October 13th. And I'm super excited because we have a very special guest who is in, oh shoot, I didn't even pull up your bio. All right, we'll just talk about it live. So unprepared, and that's okay because we can do this on the fly. So today's guest, well, hold on. My name is Jennifer Hart, if you do not know me, and I am the creator of the Connected Soul Network, which is a community and foundation of the people who are looking to better their lives through, what I call spirituality, just connecting with a higher power and source to become our best and highest selves, and through personal development. And we're going to have some exciting things coming, a membership, which we're going to talk about. And that's why this guest is extra special, because she is my personal spiritual designer and astrologer who is helping me to structure this. And what I'm doing in the world is I'm connecting people to the other people, like-minded people that are on the same path in the journey, and also the therapists, healers, and coaches who can help these people with guiding them on their way and connecting them to the information, resources, events, and tools that they might need in order to help them. I'm like, I don't know what else to say. I'm getting distracted because I see the cat in the background. So without further ado, I would like to have Danie Muniz join me here with this lovely yellow background. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. Hey, Jen.
Hey, thank you for joining me. Okay, so let's talk about, well, first, I always like to say how I know people. So I met Danie through my amazing friend, Melissa. And yeah, so mutual connections, and good people attract good people. So instantly I felt like I knew Danie, and I was like, I love Danie. And so we've been connected ever since. I love what she does. And let's talk about, okay, you tell me about yourself. That's the easiest way. Since I'm sorry I didn't have your bio ready. I could go find it, but then it's just dead air time, which annoys me when I watch other people's videos. So I'm like, let's get to it.
No worries. I'll give you the quick and easy bio. So I have been in astrology over the past 9 years. Actually, you asked me that question the other day, and I was like, wow, I hadn't really realized that it has been 9 years. I started that journey looking at my own chart. Actually, my love is the one who introduced that to me. And I started looking at my own astrology, and it made so much sense for me. It helped me understand who I was. And as somebody who at that time was already starting a business, I had already been kind of looking at a couple of different things. I wasn't in the coaching or, guidance, any type of that work yet, but I was in leadership. I have been coaching in the corporate world and training leaders and supervisors and managers for over 20 years. So I had a lot of that experience, and the astrology really helped me understand who I was. And then it helped me understand who other people were. So that is a little bit about me. I've been working in astrology about 9 years now. I support people in understanding who they are and why they came here, and really remembering, right, that because we lose our path sometimes along the way. We get caught up in the societal, generational, even ancestral belief systems, paradigms that can definitely pull us away from who we are. So I love to look at it as I'm pulling you back through the lens of astrology to remember who you are, so we can release and let go of those things that no longer fit, as we accept ourselves back, which is exactly what I did.
Yeah, and I can attest to this personally. We actually did a live big 3 reading, and was it a soul return? think we did a solar return for my birthday.
Yeah, we did a solar return for your birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are both videos that Danie has done where she shows her skills live. And what was crazy is that was kind of when we first met.
Yeah.
And we knew each other and we chatted, but like we didn't know each other on a deep level. And even then, we're still getting to know each other every day, right? But people who were watching were literally like, oh my God, this is so Jen. Like people who've known me for a long time, like since high school, 20 years. Yeah. And so it just goes to show the power of what is actually in the charts. And astrology is so much further than just your sun sign. Your sun sign is like your primary sign under when you were born. Just to clarify, a lot of people don't realize that you have a whole chart. It's a circle and it has all these planetary alignments of where the planets were when you were born. And just a side note is that there are multiple types of astrology. Danie specifically does sidereal, which I had never heard of. And it was interesting because I've known myself to be a Pisces in the tropical astrology. And then Danie blows my mind. It's like, you're actually an Aquarius in sidereal. And honestly, everything she said still fit. And so it was like mind blowing. And now when I need something like to check in, I'm really in business creation mode and getting this baby that's been birthing inside of me out. And I was checking with her like, oh, I'm feeling this, what's going on? Because one, there's two facets to it, right? There's the planets for the collective. The collective is everybody in and on Earth. And then there's the planets for your chart. So there's two pieces, and what you've been helping me do is with the business is to build out the collective and also what's in my chart. And we're coming up with like these themes of like what would be the best topics to share with people and to be able to have well, it's going to be a cat war back here.
I was just going to say that. Here comes another cat.
There's one time that side note, there's one time that like they straight got in a fight when I was on a video. I really wish I could remember what video it was. All right, we have peace.
There we go. Switch places.
But it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, I wouldn't be mad if it happened because it just makes for great content. Okay, so anyways, so what we've been doing is I'm creating a membership for the Connected Soul Network, and just I'll tell you a little bit about it so that people understand what we're doing. So there's two member options. One are the explorers. These are people who are on the path of self-exploration, self-discovery, like I said, becoming your best and highest self through personal development. You're probably having or on a path of spiritual awakening, and you're looking for tools, events, resources, retreats, coaches, healers, therapists, whatever. Then there's my guides. So the guides are the coaches, the healers, the therapists, the practitioners, and for me, other spiritual entrepreneurs who support those, because we need, as healers, I consider myself a healer in a different way. We need that support system to be able to support the explorers. So it's a little different than most people would probably know. And what Danie is helping me to do is that we look at the planetary alignments, like I said, of the collective and of what's going on in my world, because as the face, I guess, and the person that's calling the people in, it's also important what's going on in my life so that I can share real time, you know, how things are experiencing for me, because I want to be the person. And this is kind of how it's all happened, is like my own spiritual awakening and my own exploration of myself and my self-discovery is how I connect with people and I share that information is by doing it myself. So it's like multifaceted, and Danie is helping me to get it all done. And by the time that this video airs, I am declaring I'm working, because it's pre-recorded, so I'm gonna be transparent. I'm working on getting the membership up right now so that we can be up and rolling by next week, and it's going to be amazing. And so if you want to join, and it's either going to be a waitlist link in case it's not up for any reason, or it'll be the link to join. It'll be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise. Go look in the captions.
I love it.
With that being said, let's talk about, well, first of all, Danie, thank you for doing that because it's going to be amazing and so exciting. So let's talk about what is happening today, October 13th.
Yeah. Before I get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about what you said with why we looked at the collective energy and why we looked at your energy. Because I think it's really important for people, for people to know, like, collectively, we are all experiencing something. And I'll use a simple thing that everybody knows, which is Mercury retrograde, right? At the time of this, being shown to you, we are out of Mercury retrograde. We are still in the Mercury shadow period, but we're still out, right? And so all of us felt that energy. All of us had something that may have come up. This was a pretty intense one. In October, September 2022.
A small blurb what Mercury retrograde is, because I know that there's people that'll watch this and they won't know what it is. So
okay, perfect. So Mercury retrograde is when Mercury appears. So from planet Earth, as we look at the planets in the sky, let's go back to like astronomy, right? Back in school, when we look up in the sky, it appears that it is going backwards. In fact, it is not going backwards. No planet goes backwards. However, from our point of view here on Earth, it appears to be going backwards. And this happens with other planets as well, not just Mercury. But what that means, or kind of how I explain it, is like, it's like Mercury, the planet Mercury, its energy is taking a vacation. It's like, hey guys, I need a break. So I'm just gonna go chill over there for a minute. I'm gonna go have like some Bahama Mamas or something. Like I'll be back. And so it goes and does its thing. And all the things that it rules, which is technology, which is our communication, which I don't know about you, but technology and communication these days, aren't those like hand in hand, right? Yeah. All the technology, I mean, we're using here. So we can have issues with those. We can have issues with contracts, things that maybe we're negotiating from either a business point of view, or even within our jobs. Think about buying a house, think about getting a loan, any of those contracts that we have. There could be some details we might miss out on that. It can also be in our neighborhoods. We might see things in our neighborhoods that kind of like, wait, something's not right here. Or we could even have with our siblings. We could have maybe some altercations with our siblings, where things are coming up with our siblings. And these could be through the realms of communication or contracts or so forth. The other thing that most people know about this is travel. And this is short travel. So we're not really talking about foreign countries. We're not talking about going out of the country. We're really talking about more local travel. So it might be within your town, within your state, or maybe a state over. It's not really too far. It's more short distance travel. And so there could be things, because remember, Mercury is taking a vacation. He's having his Bahama Mama pina coladas over there. So it's chilling. Yeah, it's chilling. And so it's not monitoring, it's not taking care of these things that it rules. And so we may experience things being out of whack for us. And that's really all Mercury retrograde is from that point of view. Now for us though, and because as Jennifer said, as somebody who was on a spiritual path or has awakened or any of those things, right? We are into personal development. We are into knowing who we are, learning who we are, kind of peeling back the layers. Well, the Mercury retrograde gives us the opportunity to take a step back and look at things that are not quite functioning in our life. So coming inside, like the RE, right? Return, relook, reinvest, revisit, right? Return, like all these coming back, reevaluate, thank you. All those things for us to come back in and take some time internally, because a lot of the time, tell me if I'm wrong, that we tend to look externally for answers. We learned this in school. The teacher knows the answers, and we have to look externally for the information. We were never really taught to look internally. Well, Mercury retrograde seasons, we have them throughout the year. They invite us to pause and to go inside. So that's a Mercury retrograde, right? So we're all experiencing. Now, let's talk about internally. Let's talk about more specific to you. So for example, the Mercury retrograde energy is happening, okay, let's just say. And let's just say that this Mercury retrograde, depending again on your natal chart, so a place within your natal chart, each place in the natal chart actually is an area of your life. So when we look at your natal chart and we look at where this Mercury is going to be moving through, what house is what we call it, a house, or the area of life that it's going to be moving through, you may feel it in that area of your life more so than other people. So let's say, for example, it's moving through your house of relationships. Well, if we're talking about communication, if we're talking about contracts, we're talking about technology, you may be struggling, or there may be things for you to revisit in that area of your life during this Mercury retrograde period. So what I tell people is, like, if that's, like, we all know it's in this zodiac sign or it's happening, right? That we're all collectively, but now let's see where it's going to affect you the most so that you can use this opportunity. It's like you have this extra support to go in and look at this stuff and really get some good insights, because the first level or the first stage of healing is awareness. We have to be aware that there's a problem. And so Mercury can help us do that.
I love that. And so just a side note, in case anyone's like, oh my God, I need this in my life, Danie does do that. So if you want it for your personal life, or if you are a guide and you want it in your business, you don't even have to be a guide. If you just are in business, you can, she does this as well, but I'll put her contact information and you can reach out to her and schedule that. But okay, so now that you explained Mercury retrograde, which I remember we did a video on that too, also. I'm like, it's been multiple videos. What you were going to add to why we did my personal collective, or the collective and my personal transit.
Yeah. So now that we've kind of talked about the collective and then like the more personal, right? So that's what we did for Jen. So we looked at what is the collective energy of this time. So month by month, what is the collective energy that we'll be experiencing? And we look at a couple of different things on our charts to see like kind of what's going on. And then we kind of came up with like, well, this is the energy that we are all going to be in. So it's like, again, like I said, like you're in that Mercury retrograde and it's in this specific area of your life, like it's amplified for you. So it's on our minds, right? If we look at it from the sun and the moon perspective, it's what's on our conscious mind, but it's also what's within the subconscious that is coming up to our consciousness. So we're in this energy, we're thinking of these things. Like right now, we're in daily routines and habits and the things that are, functioning, like how they're not functioning or how they are functioning. So we look at that energy and like, okay, this is where we're all going to be. So how can we best support people with these topics, with this area? And then what we did is we also looked at Jen, because we want to know for Jen, where is her energy? Because she's the one that's pulling us in. If we look at this from an energetic standpoint, she's in this particular energy and is calling us all in. So we want to know where she's going to be at, because we can time things, right? I know she has her book coming out, which I want to look at that March date for you, to look at like, when's the best time for her to do X, Y, and Z, right? And for her energy, is there going to be challenges? So how is that going to affect her energy? So we know like, hey, Jennifer, there's going to be some things right here that may be around this, so that she can empower herself to make decisions and to put things in place that are going to help her. There was a couple of things I was like, hey, Jen, I just want you to be aware of these things, because even though you're doing this membership and you're putting these things out, there's going to be some of these challenges. And I want to give you that heads up now so that you are empowered to get things in place and to make decisions based on that. Right? I do this for my entrepreneur friends, right? The clients that come to me that are looking for like, hey, I have an event I'm going to do, I have a launch I'm in that I want to do, and this is the time that I'm looking at, these are the dates that I'm looking at. I'm like, great, let's look at your energy to see where you're going to be at, because this might not be the best time energetically for you to do this event. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do it, just know that it's going to be a little bit harder. So even with, I've done like weddings, people want to know like, when's the best time for us to get married? Or, when's the time for us to have our child? Like, I can look at that and say like, hey, this is the best time for you to do that. So this is why we looked at Jen's energy and we looked at the collective energy. We want to know as a whole what is going on so we can really make the best decisions. Now, I want to be clear on this too before I know you got something to say. So before I move on. I felt it. I want to say that just because we're talking about, hey, this is happening and this is going on and all these things, we have all the choice in the world. This isn't like done.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it isn't like set in stone. I want you to know that, like, this is just, I'm giving this information so that you are empowered. And it's not like, oh my God, this is what's going to happen. And no, like,
to
it's
stop
not
my
the
whole life based off of it. Yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly. I was gonna just add that. So you already nailed it.
I felt you, girl.
Yeah, you don't have to stop your life. You don't have to change things. It's
Oh,
information, and information helps us to make informed decisions. So when she's
absolutely.
telling me these things like, okay, Jen, you might be going through this at this time, you will need extra support. And why this is important is because if I am the, I call myself like the overall tour guide, it has a theme. It's like an adventure.
I so love it.
Looking for your North Star, you're on an adventure and exploration of yourself. And let's see what we can find, like find the treasure of like enlightenment or whatever you want to call it. It's been brewing for a long time. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going out with it. Like we're all on this adventure together.
So are you gonna have like pictures of maps? I would love like your like your group. Do we have pictures of maps? Because that would
I'm
be
like,
cool.
can I just show you something real quick?
Oh yeah, let's see it.
Hold on. I'm gonna get it. Okay, so as I'm looking for that, I'm gonna try to multitask here. So why it's important is because I don't need to change my schedule. I just need to implement it. And as the tour guide of this adventure that we're on for all the people, the guides and the explorers, I need to be my best self. I need to be thinking and energetically clear. And so knowing this information helps me if I need extra self-care practices. Maybe I need to schedule some days off at a certain time so that I can show up. Because here's what I've learned from having, when I lived in San Diego, I'd have visitors come. And I would get super like cranky after a couple days. And I did not know at the time why. And it was such good information. And like knowing in the future that I require alone time. And I lived in a one bedroom, one bath, and people would come and they would sleep in my room with me. I had a California king. And so I didn't get my alone time. And that's why I started to become a terrible host. Like I feel so bad for all my friends that came to visit me, all a bitchy, like, wah! And it's because I was resentful. And I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know why. And now, like being more into these things, it's like knowing myself better. I know that I need that time. And maybe based off of what Danie has informed me of some things, I might need extra time. And you have to take it. Like, and society has taught us so different that, oh, put everybody else first and kill yourself for work and people and whatever. And no, like have boundaries, know yourself, put yourself first, because if you put yourself first, you will be able to show up and serve everybody else the best way possible.
Yeah, and this is like that societal paradigm or belief system that we have, right? Like we say, what does society tell us? That we should take the summer off. Everybody takes the summer off. It's vacation time. You should go and do these things. Well, for some of us, that is actually our best time to do certain things. That might be like if you're a business owner or entrepreneur, that might be a time where you really should be putting offers out there and really like amping up your business, launching something. For those of you that are like in a 9-to-5, like it would be maybe the time for you to step up in your career, for you to look for that promotion and not like take the step back in the promotion or the project that you may be working on, but actually to step forward in that. So like there's everybody has their own rhythm. Like this is what I love teaching people, is that everybody has their own rhythm. And so we're just aligning back to that rhythm and then stripping away those belief systems and ideas that were put on us, all these years.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I got it. Oh my God, of course. I was like, yes, you need a map.
So I did a photo shoot like 2 years ago, I think it was. And with this theme in mind, like it's been brewing for a long time. And I have a map, and then I have treasure box photos. And so in the membership, it said, upload a picture of the guide, like the course guide, And so this is the picture that I picked. Like,
I love it.
Sure. So
yeah. spot on. I'm
I
so
was like,
glad
when
you
you
did
said that, I was like, I have to show them. But that's the thing. It's like I have to show up authentically, and I'm silly and goofy like that. And I've gotten away from it for a long time because people are always like, Jen's a little quirky and weird and whatever. And I'm like, but that's who I am. And that's what's fun about it. It's like I want to do fun things and incorporate a theme because I think it's cheesy, but it's fun to me. And if people think that's fun, then they should come play too.
Exactly. So you know what, it just reminded me of something you just said. So one of the other, and tell me if I'm wrong, Jen, the reasons why we did the themes and everything was because it actually makes it easier for you to know what to talk about and who to invite into your world as far as guides are concerned, right? Because you already have an idea of what they should be talking about or what they could be talking about, that you don't have to sit there and be like, okay, I don't know what our theme is. Let's come up with a theme for this month, or let's come up with a theme for 12 months. Like you were able to just kind of look at like, okay, this is what's happening, and this will make it a little bit easier for you. Now I know like it's something to get used to. Like not everybody's used to like having these confines of like, well, I can only talk about this. And for somebody who's an Aquarius, as Jennifer is, it can be a little bit like, this is a little confining. But there's a lot of things that you can talk within that. And so I hope that was like,
there's still a lot of variety. And here's the thing. So I had the idea. So first of all, I'm a person that has a million ideas. And I'm like, what do I execute? Like I have so many boxers that Danie's got. And I'm like, and I could do this and this. It's like A to Z. Which one should I do? So getting some guidance helps me to just make a decision. Because as a recovering perfectionist, I call it recovering because that's the path that I'm on. It's like, just freaking do it. Like right now, my thing with building this membership is there's so many more pieces than I had anticipated. I'm doing it all by myself. And so I look at something and I go, good enough, move on. Like, is someone really going to look at all the details of my pictures? Yeah, maybe, because I'm also that person that I will like pick through other people's stuff, which is why I'm like, but I'm like, okay, but like, would they rather have the content and the events to move forward, or what, like never launch, like, what is it? So anyways, just that's just a side note. But with it, I had the idea to do the themes, but then I was like, oh, how do I do this? And then when I talked, this all started with Melissa. She's one of my go-to intuitive, like call her my business coach also. And she was like, you need to call Danie. This is what I love about our network. Call Danie and ask Danie to look at your transit themes. I don't know if she called it that, but she's like, of the energy of the collective and pick it from there. And when you did it, I was like, oh, okay. This is a lesson for me, letting go of control, because what I was doing with these interviews before, it's like, I'd be like, oh, I see people. The best example is like, there was tons of people dying in my newsfeed and it's so sad, and people talking about grief. And so I look, and as a human design generator, I'm here to respond. And I go, oh, people need help with grief. So then I reached out to someone, and I was finding the people to come on. And I was just like, you know what, if I really want to step in and help serve more people, I have to let go of that control. And so I put, when you join the guides membership, you will essentially get my schedule of when I'm doing interviews, the events that we're doing for the Connected Soul Network, Called to Connect networking events, and then other additional events we'll do. Like Danie said that she'll do like a hot seat reading for members only, or if we decide to open it to non-members, you will have to pay to come if you're not a member, but it'll be free for members. And I would say members always get first priority of readings. That just seems fair.
Absolutely.
So you should just become a member. But with that, I give this to the guides and I go, here you go, book in my calendar, which I'm going to tell you, that's scary as shit for me, because I'm a recovering control freak also, like recovering perfectionist, recovering control freak. And so I'm like, but how do I grow? How do I serve more people? If I have this big mission and vision, I have to like let go of control, delegate, ask and receive support. And so I'm like, amen, preaching sister. That's what I feel like right now, to myself, preaching to myself. Half the time that we're talking, I don't know if people realize this, you're really truly talking to yourself. Like you're projecting your own thoughts, and what you want others to do is what you should be doing. So I just want to note that. But
I say that all the time in my videos. I'm like, I'm saying this to myself just as much as I'm saying it to you.
Yes, it's called the projection / mirroring. Saying people are mirroring to us what we need, and we are projecting what that's why I always stop and I'm like, what do I want to say to this person? Because I'm like, what I want to say, it's reflecting back to me what I'm saying to myself. So it always makes me ponder. Anyways, so off topic. I don't even know where we're at right now. If you want to do this in your business or your personal life, Danie does do this. You can contact her. But okay, so is there anything else we need to address about the membership and how you help me to do this and kind of pick out these themes? And I guess we should talk about the theme for today. I'm dying over here right now, cracking myself up.
So today we are, for October 13th, our sun is, so in Sidereal Astrology, our sun is in Virgo still. It's at the end of Virgo, and our moon is in Taurus. So we have a couple different things going on right now that I would say are affecting us. So number one, in Virgo, we're at the end of Virgo season, and we actually have our planet Venus hanging out. And Venus is our planet of, so let me just explain these planets really quick. Our sun is our core, it's our core personality. So our sun sign is our core personality. It's also our consciousness, we're very aware of. The Venus is our love, it's our money, it's our relationships, it's our core values. And so they're being like together, the consciousness and our love, money, and relationships, core values, those are together right now. And so what that means is that energy is really supporting each other. And so there could be right now, you could be experiencing some of that, like a lot of focus on your relationship, a lot of focus on money, lack thereof, or how, or maybe an abundance, maybe you're working on your money mindset. So for those of you that offer money mindset work, this is your ideal time. Just want to take that. Go out there.
What'd you say?
I said, go out there and sell.
Yeah. And I just want to put a note on that money mindset work is so important. I don't think people even realize. So when I plant a seed right now, I need to get like some visuals, like I'm planting a seed. I want to plant a seed right now. It's like, look at your money beliefs. If you are just new to this and you're like, screw that, read a book like Jen Sincero, How to Be a Badass at Making Money. That's like a title that's the green cover. I have it back there.
Even if you're not an entrepreneur, read that book, because I think that we all could work on that. Even when I was in corporate for 18 years, a little over 18 years. And even in corporate, like my money mindset, like I was capped at a certain place where I didn't go for promotions. I didn't ask for more. Like I just accepted, like, oh, they're giving me like a raise, and I just accepted the raise. I never went and fought for like higher when I know I probably could have. Now I do, but yeah. So I know. Sorry.
Oh, one of my other favorite books that was life-changing, and I actually ended up attending all of the seminars, was T. Harv Eker's The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. That's another really good one. We actually, our book club coordinator in the Connected Soul Network membership, she wants to start the books with that book.
Really?
Yeah, she was like, that's my favorite book to do. And I just got it. I was at the used bookstore and I had some bookstore credit. And so I have it on audio, and I had listened to it, went to there, bought all the programs, and it was amazing. I love Harv, and like I know him. I'm like, me and Harv,
we were hanging out.
I didn't even teach him anymore. He sold it. He built it up and sold it to someone else. But it's still amazing information. And I saw the book and I was like, I need the book. So I'm rereading it now. And it talks exactly about this. Like, what are our money beliefs? They are instilled in our programming from our parents, from our teachers, from society, from all these different influences that you don't even know until you start to think about it. And for me, my business as becoming an entrepreneur, and even when I was in the corporate world and I would get like a pay or something, it's like it was hard for me to accept it. Or in his book, he talks about you'll have expenses come up that like brings you back down to like a certain level. Like you go through a divorce and lose half your money, you get in a car accident and you have to buy a new car, like things like that. And it's like, it sounds crazy, but once you start to like really look into it, you can start to see your own patterns, but you have to be open to explore as an explorer and go on the adventure of being like, okay, I'll hear about it and then let me see. And if you start to study people that have had success, they all talk about it's money mindset. You could be the best at what you do, but if your beliefs and your money mindset are not in alignment with that or healthy and or growing, you will have a hard time like moving forward, moving up your ceiling and excelling. And for me, it was like value, worth, money mindset. Like my biggest one belief that I have been working on so much to release, and like even then I still could feel that right now, is you have to work hard to make money. That has been instilled and ingrained in me by society. I even see it in people's videos who are in the personal development world. And I'm like, no, because I'm building this membership. And yes, right now I have to do a lot of work to get it started. But as soon as I can, I will hire out the pieces that are hard for me. And then I'll just show up in my zone of genius, which is really easy. And it's so easy that it feels wrong. Like you told me this in my reading, you're like, you're going to have a hard time because your gifts come so easy to you. You'll have a hard time charging for them. So I'm totally off on a tangent.
No, that's okay. I do want to add really quick to that because I think this is a good topic. Like it's coming up for a reason. And this is the energy, that we're in. So let's talk about it. I will say my biggest challenge that I realized was I was actually in a fight with money. Like me and money were in battle against each other. Like money, that's how I was viewing money. Like it was a battle. It was a fight, and I had to like fight for it. And it was so different when I changed my energy from being in battle with it to befriending it. Like I was like pushing it away from me was how I was like experiencing it. And so I was like, wait, I want money to be my best friend. Like money and I love to hang out. That was literally my affirmation, was like, money and I are best friends. We love to hang out because we do good things together. Like we do good things for people together. Like, and money became a friend of mine, and it totally shifted things for me because I was no longer pushing it away and I was allowing it to come in. And it started coming in different ways that I wouldn't have even anticipated because I was so focused on it coming in this way and this way only. And when it became my friend, it's like it was all around me. Like money was coming from all different directions because it wanted to, because it wanted to hang out with me. So I just want to share that real quick.
And maybe it's coming up too, because I'm really exploring this in my life, finances. What's my relationship? What I had found with money. So I was reading this book, I still am, that my brother had recommended. It is called Breaking Free from the Victim Trap, How to Reclaim Your Personal Power. Ooh. So good. Highly recommend to everybody. And I was looking at one of the questionnaires at the end, and I was just reading it. And then it was like, I forget the question. I'd have to go, it's in the bathroom, and I'd have to go look at what the question was.
It's a great place for it to be.
I know. It's like whenever I'm in there, why not? Just read it a couple pages. It's a really easy read too. But the question was like, who do you blame in your life? Like as a victim, who do you blame in your life for stuff? And the answer that came to me was money. And I was mind blown. I was like, oh my God, like I'm not even blaming people. I'm blaming money. Because the role of becoming an entrepreneur has been one of the biggest challenges for me in my life personally, because I've had to unlearn. I am a natural born entrepreneur. I know this now. Like every single chart I have had is like, you are an entrepreneur. But I wasn't raised that way. So I've had to undo everything that I've learned and relearn all these new things. And so the financial aspect of it has been a struggle. It's been hard. And so I'm also looking at like, hey, so I was blaming money. Like, well, if you look at it as a relationship with a person, if you're blaming someone in a relationship, do they want to be in a relationship with you? Hell no. Like, who would want that and why? Yeah. And so it's like, I was talking to Mel yesterday and I was telling her, like, I'm going to make a list and I'm going to say, like, how have I been treating money and how can I nurture it? You know what I mean? So that, like you said, like I can have a relationship with it. And it sounds super cheesy, but it's so true.
Works.
The books, they talk about it. You know what I mean?
It works.
Money wants organization. Money wants a place to go. Money wants to come in for expansion. So, book your trip and money comes. Like when you really stop and look at it, it's like, wow, like I planned to, I went on a family trip back. And I was kind of like, ooh, I don't really know if I have the money for this. And we went to the casino, and I had just planned enough money to like gamble a little bit, have like a massage service or something, and my food. And I'm super frugal also. So I bring my own food. I get the free rooms. Like I pull out all the stops that I can. That excites me also. And I kid you not, like I won a ton of money, and I won exactly enough money to cover my whole trip. Like it was, and it's like I was taken care of. Like, and I even gave some money away to the people that were with me, and was like, here you go play $20 on the machine. And, you know, because when other people aren't winning, it's like, I want them to win too. When I win, everybody wins. So yeah, so it was like the perfect example. And I'm sure you can think of that, like something happened, you need to get your car fixed. And all of a sudden, like as a server, I was a server for a long time, you get like, I got $100 tip one time. I was like, what? This is crazy. Sure, I had something to pay for. So money needs a purpose too.
Yep, absolutely.
You're way off of, we had no expectation that we were going to talk about this, but obviously some people need to hear this today. And I trust the universe. This is what the membership is about, is trusting the universe. Like the right people are going to come to the right events and get connected and blah, blah, blah. And so I trust the universe that whoever is here needed to hear this today. And is there anything else you want to add? And then I want to move on to like your new membership that you have, which is super awesome.
I just want to say for the membership is, you know, if you are somebody who is like getting into these topics and these like you're awakening to different things, this is a really good place for you to come, because I can tell you from my own experience and working with people who are on their journeys is that it can get really lonely, because the people that you maybe used to hang out with or that are in your environment or at work, they might not understand quite yet, right? They might not get it. We're not here to change their mind. We're not here to tell them this is what they have to do, but we do want other people who we can talk to and we can connect with. And that is what Jennifer's community is all about. Like when I attended her first one, I was like, oh my goodness, there's more people. Like, you know, I felt so seen, and I felt like I could talk about things and I didn't have to like worry about what people were going to think. Like it just felt so natural and so comfortable. And I was like, you think that too? Or you're talking about this too, or you're reading that book too, or you're interested in this topic too. It was like so great to be around not only people who thought about that, and then other like business owners who were like that and who thought like that. You know, I told Jen this, I've been to tons of networking events, you know, as an entrepreneur, like, you know, you're out there meeting other people. And there has never been an event where I felt so comfortable, because I'm a projector in human design. So I never really felt comfortable, first off, just as a projector, but also like I just never, like they just didn't resonate with people. And it, you know, it wasn't the focus. The focus was like, here's my card and give me a call. And it was like, that just didn't seem, it seemed icky to me, and I didn't like it. And coming to Jennifer's event, I'm like, yes, I want to go network. And it's like, oh, but I don't like those networking events. I want to come to hers. Like I want to meet other people who are like on the same journey and the same understandings and learning just like I am. And so I would, if you are in any way, you know, on this journey and thinking about it, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you join Jen's membership. It's just such a beautiful community. She attracts the best people. I've met so many people on her at her events, and I absolutely love attending. And I'm looking forward to meeting you too.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's like the highest compliment ever. And you've told me that, obviously. So thank you for sharing that with the world. Live testimonials are amazing. I'm like, since we're on it, let me just ask if you would also share as a guide in the membership, because, you know, Danie is my right-hand breakout room guru. And what would you call yourself? Like, I love when you announce to people, like when they come into the room virtually at the event, like MC, is it?
You get MC.
Like DJ MC, like, what is up, Jen Hart in the house? And it's like just welcoming everybody and like breaking that ice and having, I love that piece when you started doing that. I was like, yes, she's my people. And then she does all the breakout rooms. And so she's like, you know, channeling in the universe, like these people should be broken out together, and it's perfect. But what I wanted to ask you is, could you, since you brought it up, can you touch, you had also said that from my connections that you've met through my network, that you have also this, I guess, is going to be the perfect like transition into talking about your business. You have also found your way in your business and got more clear on what path you want to take. And so I think that's really important, because as a guide in the network, you have not only made fun connections overall and got new clients, but you've also had expansion in your business. And I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I have seen and got the feedback that like guides that are in my space of the network have had expansion in business. So it's almost like there's an activation piece that like I create the space and they can come and it's safe for them to be able to explore their business and expand it and push themselves and challenge, and they have the support to do so.
I was going to say that's exactly what it is like you feel supported because Jen is like in your corner, like she has your back. And, you know, as she said, like she's the person that's out there seeking. Like me as the projector, I don't like the Facebook groups. I don't like the networking things. I don't like that. Like it doesn't feel good for me to do that. And so, you know, Jen being out there like, hey, you should meet Danie, like she could help you with this. And so, you know, Jen will text me and be like, hey Danie, there's this person, do you think you could help her? This is what she's dealing with, or whatever it might be. And I'm like, and I'll even sit there and I'm like, is this something I can do or not? You know, like there's been times where I told Jen, like, you know, based on what you're telling me, here's what I think and here's what I would do. And like, she's the person that like pairs us together. Like I trust that Jen knows the people and she knows what she's doing, and she's going to connect them with the right people, because not everybody is for everybody. And so I feel so supported like with her. And she's definitely, you know, been like, as we've got to know each other, like she's like, oh, okay, you can help the person with this. And she's, you know, referring people to me. So yes, that has helped my business expand. But secondly, which I think is key, is that I was kind of like a little all over the place, right? I had this and I had this and I had this and I had all these things, but actually being in the community, being with Jen and working with these different people, I found where my zone of genius is. I found where I am best at and how I can best help people. And because of that, like, that changed everything for me, because instead of having all these things and trying to figure it out, I was working with people and be like, this is what I'm really good at. And Jen's like, hey, you know, here, you can help this person, you can help this person, because now my energy is more focused on how I can best help. And I think that is like the two things I would say, in addition to, all the other great community things that I've gotten as well.
Thank you for sharing that. And with that piece, I have also, this is my personal, I have a little label. I love label makers because I'm an organized nerd like that. It just brings me so much joy. It says action, integration, embodiment. And like what has been my theme is being in action, because for anyone else that is like me and is a recovering perfectionist, whether you know it or not, if you have ideas and you haven't done anything about them, you have to ask yourself why. And for me, it was like, because I wanted it to be this certain way, and I wanted to have all the details planned out, as Danie knows, with my mini Voxers, like, and then she's like, just go, like, do something. And that's what everybody has been telling me. And it is so true, because now that I'm just like, I'm in action, it is time. Like, I had to become the person to hold the space, but now that it is time, action creates clarity for me. And I just saw that with you. So like, action creates clarity, because you truly don't know. You can sit here and plan out every single A to Z option that might happen, everything. It's like when you have to have hard conversations with people, or you're upset and your emotions are running, you're like, well, if they say this, I'm going to say this, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what that's going to say. Like, people may come to the membership and be like, oh, Jen, I don't know about this. So then I need to like take their feedback and take action separately, but I won't know if they even like it until I put it up for them to come join, right? And that's anything in life. So if there's anything that's crossing your mind right now that you're like, yeah, I need to take action on that, take the action. Do it. Even if it's small. Like, that was me too. Like, I want to be overnight, everything's built in there, but it's like, I can't. Like, I am one person with so much time, energy, and effort that I can't. So baby steps, take small actions every day towards whatever it is you want. You want to book a trip to Disneyland, start looking at what dates you want. Like, that's the first step. You want to, I hear people all the time talk about travel, and they want to go travel, and they want to,
because they're waiting for X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Book the money needs
book it.
an expansion. So start looking at a date, like start making decisions. Do you want to go by yourself? Do you want to invite a friend? Start asking your friends. Do you want to go with a travel group? Start researching travel groups. Like one small action a day, even a week if you're just starting, will get you there. Pick your date. Okay, now you know you want to go with a travel group this date. What's the place you want to go to? Okay, now what do you need for your plan? Do you have the money to pay in full? Do you need to set up a payment plan? Like just do it. So, okay.
Yeah. And then you'll know how much to save and all that good stuff. So I will say, like, with that and kind of tied into, my membership and what I'm doing is I started a membership 5 years ago when I first started my business. And I was about a year into business, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start this membership because I could see like there was these people that I was attracting. And so I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to come. I don't know if anybody wants this, but I did it. I put it out there and I had 3 people join. And I was so excited that I had 3 people join, right? And it was great. And I would say, so from that membership, that evolved into something else. And that evolution, more people joined it. And it was like, oh, this is really cool. Okay, now there's this. Well, as I've grown and if I've changed and as I have stood in action, I now have evolved it as I've gotten clearer on different things in the way that I work and I like to help people. I've evolved that into the membership that it is today. And so I still have people like I have one lady who was in that very first group with me. She's been with me this entire time. I absolutely love her. She's been with me and she's seen the evolution and she's just like, wow, like I've just seen how much you've grown and how you're attracting people in now and how different it is. And it's just like, it's so cool for her, from her perspective. But now, inviting people into my world in my membership, I think it's really cool because I've had all this time to kind of figure out like what worked, but I stood in action. I didn't just say like, okay, I know I don't have the big community right now. I don't have all these things right now. I know they're coming. And so I'm going to start taking action on this thing. And so, here we are today.
Here we are today. Okay, so let's talk about your current membership. It's called Heal Your Energy. Tell me what that is about.
Yeah. So Heal Your Energy is, as I said at the beginning, like I am all about helping you understand and remember who you are through the lens of astrology so that we can strip away all the things that no longer serve who you are, right? And who you're now becoming. And so there's a lot of healing that takes place in that. So yes, I talk a lot about, the stars and what's going on in the stars, but there's another piece of it, right? As the healer aspect, I never wanted to call myself a healer because I never thought like that was a thing that I was. And I didn't realize it. And then I realized it and I was like, oh yeah, I'm a healer. I'm a healer. Okay, I'll claim it now. So because of that, what I found is that people want to work with astrology. They want to work in their day-to-day life and they don't know how to do it. Like they've had a chart reading with me or they hear me talk about it and they're like, that's so cool. That's so interesting. Like, but how do I do that? Like, how do I apply it in my life? And so I was doing that. This is how it all came. Like Jen said, like I started it first for myself and then I started offering it to people. So what I do every month is I look at our energy and I work on things that are not quite right in my life, things that I'm challenged with. And in particular, as in Virgo season, perfectionism and really having to let go of control has been like the top 2 things that I'm a recovering perfectionist and a recovering control freak. I'll raise my hand for that. And so this energy is a prime time to do it. And so working on those things, healing those things during this prime season is what I do. And so I decided to offer that to people because people had been asking me like, well, how do you work with the energy? How do you do this now? And so that's what the membership is all about. It's about healing your energy, going through the seasons every single month, working with the energy and not against it to heal the different aspects of yourself. So some people may call it shadow work. Some people may say doing the personal work, right? The development work, the great work, however you want to call it, but it really is coming inside and looking at the different aspects of self during that particular season. So every month we meet on Wednesday nights to talk about the energy, to talk about what's going on, to talk about your specific energy so you know what is your natural rhythm, and then looking at the belief systems, the ideas, the paradigms that no longer serve you. That's what's super cool. It's there's healings in there. I don't talk about it too much, but as you know, Jen, I do work within the Akashic Records. So all of the healings that we do are all channeled for that particular group. All of them, I've had to release the control. It's one of the things that the Akashic Records has taught me, is releasing control and allowing things to just flow through me. And so I don't know, like I hop on the calls and I don't know what the healing is going to be at the end. I have no idea. But when we come to that place, I trust that they'll guide me to what they need. And I always set the intention at the beginning of our class, like whatever they need, whoever is here and is watching the recording, whatever they need for their greatest and highest good right now, like allow that to come. And so I literally, so it's a beautiful experience. I absolutely love it. I know Jen's got to experience a little bit of it, and it's super awesome.
Yeah, so what I have been to one so far, and it was amazing. Danie gave us like a little workbook, and she also led us like through some exercises to help see if hopefully, can I share just like a little bit about it? So we went through like our morning routine, and I swear everyone was like, who actually gets your morning routine done? Nobody raised their hand. And then like their great point was like, we did all this stuff around it, but the gist of it is that it was like, well, how does that make you feel when you start your day like not in win in your eyes as a perfectionist? Because that's the theme for the month, is perfectionism. So I was like, that's so interesting. Like totally nailed it. Like, how does it make me feel? I actually came home and made a checklist for myself. And I was like, it helps me to get it done. But I really had to evaluate, like, what do I truly like? I'm taking in information, I'm gathering metrics and data for me to evaluate for myself. Like, and what do I truly want to do, and what's serving me versus what am I just saying that I should put on my to-do list? And that's one of the things you talked about. So thank you for that. And then you do healing like at the end. That's amazing. And is your group for women only, or?
So primarily it is women only, but there are a few men in there. The ones that have been on there actually haven't been coming to class, so they're watching the replays, which I think is funny. But it is open to both men and women.
Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about. So that's what it is. It's super awesome. It's monthly membership, and
monthly membership
is $111 a month, and you go almost every Wednesday. I know you take some Wednesdays off. It includes the healing. You even throw in cool extra things like for our month of this time right now, you did the new moon intention setting. I missed that. I'm usually more organized, but I missed the email, so I missed the like live, but the recordings are available for me to view. And
you get access to all of that. So like in the honor your energy class, whichever season we're looking at, you get the recordings obviously for that month, and you get them for like 30 days, so you can go back and listen to everything, which is kind of cool. Plus there are, like you said, bonuses. So like you get the new moon intention setting class, which is one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing that for years and I love it. We also do extra like meditations. I actually have special guests that come in. This month we're having one of my the person that I go to for gut health advice. She is teaching a class on gut health because we're in the Virgo season. So there's both, and there's different teachers that come and do meditations for us. So we have different experiences. So it's not just the class. There's like it's all about healing your energy. It's all about the things for that season that's going to support us. So there's a lot that goes into it. And I'm super excited. It's a whole. It's
a really good deal. And then, of course, you get the community aspect as you are being on the journey. And that's what I love like about memberships, is that you are surrounded with a community of other people that are experiencing it, so that you are not alone. Because as I have been on my spiritual path, it's like some people I can resonate more with now, and some people I resonate less with, and I still love them all equally and find my ways to connect with people. But sometimes like I just like to be in the space where I can fully show up and talk about weird stuff, and it's totally like fine, and as we come together, we're stronger together. It's going to catapult out into the collective. We'll call in more people. More people are awakening. We're in a huge time of awakening, actually.
Huge time of awakening.
Yeah. So having community is very key. And what she's doing is she is giving discounted pricing to other services if you're in the membership, and she has lots of amazing cool things to offer. Like we haven't even talked about all of them. Well, we did. You do the big 3 reading, you do natal chart readings, you do the transit planning, and coaching. You do one-on-one coaching. So let's talk about your super hot deal for the first 5 people who join and pay in full, which is $11.11 for the year. You will receive monthly transit readings and lunar returns. Correct me if I get any of this wrong. And one-on-one coaching session. We don't even know the value of that because we were just talking about this before we came on. So I can't even tell you what like the true value of that is. But if you're like, this is for me, I'm a hell yes. Like we always want hell yes people because like Danie said, like Danie's not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. And I totally get that. Like you should still come because I'm the expert at knowing experts. So like, although like you may not want to like talk to, like maybe I don't resonate with you, but you love the people I interview and you find a healer through the network. Like that's what I'm good at. Danie is good at taking the astrology and the spiritual design. If you don't know what the Akashic records are, it's like this book of every single thing that's recorded. I always like to say, because I didn't know what they were until like 5 years ago. And they're really helpful in being able to understand, on top of astrology and everything else, things that have happened, are happening, and are going to happen. So as you start to work with them, you'll get to know more about it. I don't know what else to say, but so to recap, if anybody is like a hell yes, and you're like, this is for me, pay the yearly $11.11, pay in full, and the first 5 people to join will get monthly transit readings, monthly lunar return readings, and one-on-one coaching session, plus everything that's in the membership and the discounted pricing if you're like, okay, I need more services.
So I want to say like the transit readings is kind of like what we were talking about with the Mercury retrograde. So if you resonated with that, we're like finding out where Mercury is retrograde in your chart. That's exactly what you'll get. You'll get a reading of what's going on for you for that month so that you can have an idea of what to look out for. Plus the lunar return is where your emotional energy is going to be for that month. And I don't know about you, but being an emotional person, I want to know, like, is there going to be some challenges or what's my focus for this month? And so those are both 2 really powerful readings. People actually just pay me for those readings just because they like, that's so important for them. I have a one-on-one client where that's all we do is we look at her transit charts and we look at her lunar returns every single month. So she knows where her energy is and where to put her intention onto for that month. So both of those are really, really powerful readings. So if you're a hell yes, I would 100% love to do those readings for you and help you guide you along this journey this year.
I love it. All right. Well, the links are in the caption. So if you want to connect with Danie, if you want to join the membership, if you want to join my membership, whatever calls to you, that's what we're all about here. Is like, not everything is for everyone, but if you are here, there's a reason, there was a message, maybe you're supposed to connect, maybe you just were supposed to hear this today, and whatever it is, we support it. And that's what I love about it. So I don't like the whole like hard sales. I want to sell everybody something. I'm like, I want people to show up. I'm a hell yeser. Like when I'm a hell yes, like I'm like, I will figure stuff out.
Figure it out.
Yeah. And that's the energy that I want to attract, is people who are also like, I want to be here. I want to show up to these events. I want to, but it is also like when you're called. So like maybe 1 month you need to take the month off. We totally get it. Like there's no pressure. So anyways, thank you for all of your time. Amazing conversation. We always go over an hour because we have so much, we just flow. Danie and I vibe like so much. Like I feel like all our videos are like an hour.
I can't wait for you to come. I can't wait for you to come visit and like we could vibe in person.
Oh my gosh, yes. So Danie's in Texas, I'm in California, and we have not yet met in person, but I feel like when we do, there's so many amazing people in the Texas area. I am gonna go at some point, and I'm worried because I'm like, I'm gonna want to move there. I want to live in Texas. Like you guys got some crazy weather, the humidity. Like I got naturally curly hair. My hair would be like.
Me too. Trust me.
Yeah. Although I had really nice skin when I'd like visit like Bali and places like that with the high humidity. My skin would be so glowy and clear, and it was just so moist. And I know people hate that word. So anyways, on that note, thank you so much. Check the captions and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.